Yeah, I guess it started kind of at the very end of the season last year. Um, as soon as the Cardinals got eliminated from the playoffs, which was kind of like towards the end, I had a meeting with Heim, and we just kind of talked over everything. Asked about like the direction of the Cardinals, like what this is going to look like. We were both just very transparent with each other about it, which was I thought was like the best way to be. And we were both just open as well. And I just expressed that, I think it would probably be beneficial for me and my family and my future to maybe go to a different situation, a different organization that maybe going a little bit more all in for the next year or two and trying to win a World Series. Because as you can see, I bought this hat as soon as I got traded over to Boston. And that's kind of just where I'm at in my career and in my life. Is I definitely haven't accomplished everything in the game that I want to in a World Series, making a deep run in the postseason and winning a World Series is definitely one of those things that I haven't been able to accomplish. And I just felt like, so then going through the off season, we were kind of talked a little bit, and then he said maybe sometime in November, after some meetings and everything kind of slows down as far as everything else, we'll touch base and we'll see where everything's at. So I guess he called me on Sunday, the Sunday before Thanksgiving, and said, I have a team that it's almost to the finish line. We just need your approval. And he told me the team, and he said the Red Sox, and I immediately in my head was like, yes. And then there was a lot of logistics that had to be worked out between, my agent, Brez, and all of that stuff that I don't really completely understand how all that works. To be honest with you, I'm a pitcher, and that's kind of what I do. But yeah, it was immediate yes in my head, and I told my agent that. So then he did his agenting stuff, I guess, and figured out all that stuff. And so then over the next couple of days, me and my family, we were going on a trip for Thanksgiving, and it was kind of unfolding. And then Monday. And then Monday, we came to a complete agreement on Monday, like night, I believe. And then Tuesday morning, it was dotting all the I's and crossing all the T's. And then I guess everything came out on Tuesday. And ever since then, it was, like I said, we were gone and we were away from home, and we got back. I guess we got back on Thanksgiving on that Thursday. And then so we kind of had been doing that. And then kids went back to school yesterday, so now it's kind of like, all right, we're back home and touching. I mean, so many people have reached out. It's been awesome so far, and couldn't be more excited to have the opportunity to come play for the Red Sox, and I'm looking forward to the year. I mean, I really, really am. So,
Sonny, Gabrielle Starr, Boston Herald, welcome.
yep.
What was it about the Red Sox that, in your own words, made you say like immediately yes?
I followed. Sorry, we have a toilet right now that's kind of backing up, so we have some people coming over to try to try to get that for us. So, um, it was. I had followed the Red Sox over the last couple of years, and just Steven Matz, who was a good friend of mine with the Cardinals, he had gotten traded over to the Red Sox at the break, and we had kept in touch. He had nothing but great things to say, and I just kind of followed all along last year, and just the situation that Boston is in, and I really felt like it would be a really good situation, because I've always said I wanted to go to a market that is super competitive, a big market that wants to win. I know I can thrive in that situation. I always want another opportunity to prove to myself and just go and be myself. I just want to be myself. And Boston just checked all the boxes for me. Fenway is, I grew up, I'm more of a Boston guy than anything. I mean, that is who I am. I'm more, Boston is a situation for me that works for me, having been there and gone there and been around the city and the people and talking to other people. That is a situation that I feel comfortable in. And that's important to me. And then the situation of winning the young talent, with Garrett there, Crochet. He's in Nashville, so I got to spend a lot of time with him last year in the off season. Just the young position players that are there, that I say young, yes, but also to the point where young, hungry, but also ready to take off. Right? It's just all in all. I mean, it's just a great situation, and we have a chance to win a World Series, and we have a chance to make a deep playoff run, and I just want to be a part of it.
Sonny, by all accounts, your time in New York was not necessarily great for you. The experience with the Yankees. Did that put you off at all about coming into another sort of Northeast big market environment as you made a decision about waiving your no trade?
Um, it didn't, but that is a fair question. I appreciate the question because I'm sure I will get that question a decent amount. Uh, New York it just wasn't a good situation for me. Wasn't a great setup for me and my family. Um, I never wanted to go there in the first place. When that was kind of happening, when we were in Oakland and I was getting traded, that was a long time ago. I never wanted to go there. So then I was there, and it just kind of like it just didn't really work for kind of who I am, and I. But no, it did not factor into that because but I do appreciate my time there because I feel like without that, I mean, when did I leave there? In 2018. So then I had 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. So 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 20. So 7 years. I wouldn't have, I do feel like the last 7 years of my career, in my life and everything has been better. I've been a better baseball player, husband, everything from having that experience and going through that. So I do appreciate that aspect of it, right? And I just feel like I learned so much after going through that. Is when I immediately left, I was just like, you know what? I just wasn't myself, and I don't know what led to that or anything, but it just wasn't. It just didn't feel like I was allowed to just go out there and be Sonny, like go out there and just be yourself. And it took me a little bit of time in 2019 to get back to that a little bit, but once I did, I just did, and went back to the All-Star game the following year. I knew I was still good. I knew I was still one of the best pitchers in the game, and I just continued to grow. And I feel like I've been better in my 30s than I was in my 20s, and I was pretty dang good in my 20s. And I still feel strong, and I still feel like I am and can be one of the best pitchers in baseball. But I will say what did factor into my decision to come to Boston is it feels good to me to go to a place now where it's easy to hate the Yankees, right? It's easy to go out and have that rivalry and go in it with full force, full steam ahead. I like the challenge. I appreciate the challenge. I accept the challenge. But this time around, it's just go out and be yourself. Don't try to be anything other than yourself. And if people don't like it, it is what it is. I am who I am, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, Sonny, in April of 2023, we talked about how you've evolved as a pitcher. Do you think that you're settled into just who you're going to be going forward, or do you see any changes coming up with your repertoire usage?
I hope there's changes, to be honest with you, because I think if you're not constantly changing and you're not constantly adapting, then I think that you're going to be stagnant, right? 2023 was a good jump for me. I added a few things, I changed a few things, but kept like the core of me together, right? Like kept who I am, who I am. I spin the ball. I spin the ball better than anyone in baseball. That's a fact. I still have the enough velo to allow that to play. That's a fact. I can take my fastball and go both ways with it, just as good as anyone. Still get my strikeouts. My walk rate has drastically declined. And I will argue, some will say that's great. I will argue that there's some give and take there. Maybe a few walks could be better. A few more walks, a few less hits, a few more walks, a few less homers, a few less damage, a little bit less damage. So that's something that I would love to get into, right? Is situations where walks are okay. It's okay to walk a guy right here rather than giving in, and well, not giving in, but rather than giving up a double or giving up a damage or throwing a pitch that potentially can lead to damage. So I would love to do that. Spinning the ball, obviously, I know that we were talking about it last year. I know that that's a thing that is taught in Boston. Let's just say that, and it's like I said, something that I do better than anyone in baseball. So I would love to hear thoughts about that, and I know I will get there. I've talked to Andrew a handful of times already, and we're going to get into it on Thursday a little bit more, and kind of go from there. But I would love to continue to learn and continue to grow and continue to develop, because I know there's more left in there for me. Also, having a guy like Garrett at the top of the rotation is something that I couldn't be happier about. Someone that I can lean to, someone that I can follow, someone that I can lead, someone that I can learn from, someone that I can teach, someone that can push me, someone that I can push. Those are all important things, things that I had in 2023, things that I've had in the past, things that I hope to have again, here in the future. Yeah, I love this side of it. This is the side that I really like. I like talking baseball. I like talking pitching. I like pitching. I love pitching. I like striking people out. I like winning games. That was my goal last year, was strike people out and win games. I was very proud of that. That I think, I don't know, 30, 31, 32, 33 starts. I don't know how many I made. I'm also not a stat junkie. But I think the team was 20-10, 21-10, something like that. And that was something that was important to me going into the season. I want to win the games that I pitch. Whether I win them, I want the team to win the games that I pitch. So that was something that was important to me. But to answer your question, yes, I am who I am, but I definitely think there's room for improvement, because if you look at the last couple of years, ERA inflated a little bit, directly correlated to damage, right? Walks down, strikeouts up, damage up, damage, homers up. Homers are direct correlate. They're a run. I mean, it's a run. So there's a way to get back to limiting damage, punching out people, and the walks may go up a little bit with it, and that would be okay. I'll get into that. I'll ask all these questions, and we'll figure out an approach going forward. And then as far as like pitch development and pitch shape and pitch design, I would be very interested in usage. Use this one more. Use this one less. Yeah, I love that type of stuff, and I'm very open to learning that without moving too far off of who I am as a pitcher and who I am as a person. So.
Hey, Sonny,
Sonny-
obviously you've accomplished a lot in baseball. How much are you driven by getting to the World Series and winning a World Series at this point in your career?
It's pretty much one of the only things that is continuing to push me, continuing to be better in this game, is to get to a World Series, to win a World Series, to pitch in big games. I love the moment, and I'm chasing that moment. And yeah, that's other than I also love competing. I love pitching. My family still loves it. My boys. My boys love it. They're playing they're playing baseball now too, and you know, that continues to push me. You know, because I'm not trying to go through this and not be good, and with that, because you know, you do miss a lot, but at the same time, it's like you also teach them some very valuable lessons and persistence and pushing and chasing your dreams and chasing your goals. So that's all great. But yeah, getting to a World Series, winning a World Series is at the very top of that list.
Sonny, hi, thank you so much for doing this. I just wondering, how is your activities, off-season activity, you and Garrett Crochet, and how is the relationship you guys have?
My off-season activities are great. I feel strong, healthy. Body feels great. Arm feels strong. I am throwing now. I'm currently going 3 days a week, and then on Tuesdays and Thursdays I'm doing arm care. So normal off season. I've talked to Garrett. He's working out at Vanderbilt, which is obviously where I went to college, and I start going to Vanderbilt around January. So we have like been in touch. And I'm sure I will touch base with him kind of when January starts. I start getting on the mound a little bit more. It's kind of when I start going to Vandy like maybe twice a week. So yeah, like I said, we got to know each other last off season because we worked out a little bit more together. But I'm excited to get that, but I also don't want to rush into anything. I'm just continuing along my process and what I do in the off season. And you know, one day at a time, little by little, it just, you know, and I feel strong right now, which is a good thing. So yeah, off season is great, and I look forward to building a better relationship than we already have. And now that's already started, but it'll continue when we you know, we get to pick up the baseball together, and you know, we get to talk pitching and talk family and learn a little bit about it, a little more about each other. And yeah, that will happen here soon as well.
Thank you.
Sonny, welcome to Boston. I just want to ask you, what do you think about this young group that the Red Sox have right now? Roman Anthony, Sedan Rafaela, Crochet, and if you already spoke with Cora about if you already have a conversation with Cora in the past few days.
I have. There's been so many players, coaches. There's been so many people reach out, which has kind of been refreshing, to be honest with you. It's been very very welcoming, and I've appreciated that. And it's kind of come in waves, right? Like everyone knows how when the news breaks and you get traded, everything hits you at once, right? And so it's kind of continued on, which has been very nice. And it's kind of now I'm getting to meet you guys. Obviously a little bit different. It's on a screen and everything like that. But that's just kind of where it's a good place to start. But it's been very welcoming, and I've gotten to meet a few guys here and there with a message back and forth, and It's been a lot of, I mean, I'd say a lot of the guys, coaches, players, staff, now some of the staff, the support staff, the trainers, strength coaches, Abby, everyone has been very, very helpful within these last 10 days. And I've really appreciated it. It means a lot, you know, to me, like relationships and connections, they do mean a lot to me. I think, you know, the more you have that, then the stronger relationship that you'll have, then the closer bond you'll have, and then you know, the more natural it comes when you're out there competing together and you're out there doing your thing. It's just, you know that everyone's got your back, and I felt that, and I hope that they know as well that I 100% am down. I'm down for whatever. I will have your back, and anyone that knows me, anyone that's been around me, anyone that's played with me, I think that's something that they would tell you as well, is like, is he is down, and he'll do anything for you, and I will. So.
Hey, Sonny, Tim Healy from the Boston Globe here. You mentioned a few minutes ago that you've always liked Boston. You've been a bit of a Boston guy as a visiting player. What has it been about those experiences specifically that has, you know, endeared Boston to Sonny Gray?
It started early, man. It started, I was, obviously it started when you're little and you watch them on TV, right? The Green Monster was always a special thing. It was just a unique thing. And then you got to remember, like when I say like, it's just not just like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like it's not just coming out of my mouth just because, oh, you're with the Red Sox now. You gotta remember, man, I guess it was, I want to say later in my life, but at the same time, I guess I went to Vanderbilt. You got to remember who the coach at Vanderbilt is Tim Corbin. You got to remember where he came from, where he's from. You got to look up the Vanderbilt baseball field. We have a green monster in left field. We played Sweet Caroline after the 7th inning my whole career at Vanderbilt. Went to the World Series there while I was at Vanderbilt. I mean, it's been, I mean, he's been Red Sox through and through. So, I mean, that was another, and then doing Team USA, we were always going to Fenway and playing games there and doing that before we would then go over to Japan and go over there and play the Japanese national team and everything. Remember going to a Boston game, watching Josh Beckett pitch. I had a Boston hat. Because that was, when I was a kid, that was the cool thing, right? Like that was the cool thing to do. And it still is the cool thing to do. So when I say like I am more Boston than any other place, there's a lot that goes into that. And I would say going through Vanderbilt is very important. That's a very big moment of that. Like I said, that was Red Sox, Coach Corbin, he was a Boston guy. And then while I was at Vanderbilt, there was a lot of Boston guys played. Yaz, Mike Yastrzemski is one of my best friends. We roomed together in college. Still are very close. Went on a trip together 2 weeks ago. So it's for 3 years in college. I guess I just always felt like this. It's a low rise city. It doesn't feel like you're just surrounded by. You can see the sky. You know, it's just things like that. You know what I'm saying? Things like that are important to me.
And just to follow up, you mentioned the hat. That looks like the 2007 World Series logo. Is that right?
Yeah, 07. This is I was in high school. 07. The years, it wasn't as significant. I just liked it. You know, I liked it. I guess 07 is when I did win a state championship in high school football. but yeah, I like the hat, man. I'm a hat guy. I'm a hat guy. So I got I went shopping right away. Got shirts for the family. We got hats. We got everything. This is the one I've just been wearing lately. So
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
you're welcome. Thank you.